Chancellor, to you and to the whole congregation, I present Mr. Tim Baillie, MBE, and Mr. Etienne, Stott, MBE, as eminently worthy to receive the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
It is strange to come back to university to receive an honorary degree. It's a nice honour, it's a great honour, but to come back and retread the steps that we took so many years ago, we graduated with our degrees for real. It was cool. It was nice.
It's interesting because I guess most things we've received over the last 12 months have stemmed from us winning gold at the Olympics, and that was a one-off race on the day. It was one run, final run, and we really managed to nail something we were proud of and was very close to our ultimate potential as a crew. And I think the things that have come since, like the gold postbox, the MBE from the Queen, and now this honorary degree, it's really nice. It feels a bit weird almost because you've won one race and you keep getting given more prizes for the same race almost. But really, I think the way I'm looking at it is, an award for your career, for the years of effort you've put into achieving that. And from that point of view, it's really nice because it did take quite a few years, and it wasn't always by any means remotely easy. It was really tough at some times, and I'm glad we stuck at it as a crew and managed to achieve something that's really worthwhile.
So me and Tim ended up doing the same degree, mechanical engineering, at the same time, and we graduated in the same year. But it was basically accidental insofar as we hadn't made a plan to do that. But we were friends from before that time, racing against each other in the national system here in the UK. And it was only quite a few years later, in 2004, that we actually became a team. But it was the friendship that we made when we were here, that we had already, that became the foundation of our crew.
I mean, it was fun. I think at university it's quite an interesting time for anyone. You leave home for the first time, like a lot of stuff you don't really know how to do yet. You're sort of muddling through. It's quite tough doing, like, we did our degrees full time, whereas a lot of athletes in our sport now that come to university will choose to do it part time. It makes it a bit easier to balance the two things. I mean, we were basically fantastically busy for most of the time we were at university, and I think probably for both of us missed out on quite a lot of the sort of hallmarks of student life. We didn't party anywhere near as much as I would have liked to at the time, and maybe didn't spend as much time hanging out with your mates. I guess on the flip side, we did make some really good friendships at university, and also made some really good friendships through our sport and through the time we spent doing that. So on balance, I don't feel bad about it, but if I was doing it again, I'd definitely do it part-time rather than full-time.
When we were students at Nottingham University, we received sports bursaries, and we had access to the training facilities here, although we didn't actually use them that much because we had all the facilities we really needed down at the Home Pierpont National Water Sports Centre. But it was a good place to be at university because of the facility that we got to use.
It's funny coming here and you speak to local people who often don't really realise what they've got down at Home Pierpont, and it's a phenomenal facility. And even now, the course they built for the Olympics in London is probably harder whitewater, and it's better for training in some ways. But the course at Nottingham still has unique selling points in that because it's on a natural head of water off the river rather than being pumped. It runs all the time, which is really, really handy if you're trying to do university and train, whereas in London it's quite difficult because you can only train at certain times, so really it's hard to do anything else around it.
And the fact that it's a world-class university means your parents are happy. They send you off to university, they think you're going to be learning all about what you're doing, and as well you're doing some canoeing on the side as well.
Yeah. We don't have that much time to kill probably when we're not focused on our sport, but I quite enjoy other similar sports like mountain biking or surfing, hiking, sort of outdoor stuff, skiing if there's any snow around and it's winter. Apart from that, just relaxing and watching television.
Yeah, when I'm not training, I sort of like to mostly do very little, watching films and watching TV, reading books, visiting places. Canoeing is a lifestyle, and training at this level takes up, has to, by necessity, takes up a great majority of the time that you have available. So there's not much spare time for hanging around after that's been done. Well, that's a funny question because only about last weekend or a weekend and a few days ago, I dislocated my shoulder in a competition in the World Cup Tour event in Spain. So right now we're out of action. Waiting to meet the surgeon tomorrow to find out what the prognosis will be. I imagine it will be surgery required, which will basically end the season for us. So that means we've got to put our heads together and do the planning going forwards. It's really sad because we were racing really well. We'd had a 2nd place and a 4th place on the World Cup Tour so far, and things were going well. But life throws these spanners in the works once in a while, and you've got to work around them and work through them. And it'll probably mean we're going to miss out canoeing in this fine weather, but we'll think of something else to do.